Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rulla Alani, and today I'm going to give you some tips on how to navigate rotational dating without getting too emotional, without getting too overwhelmed. Just what are some rules that I would set in place so you stay grounded and you don't get too overwhelmed or bogged down. Anytime we are putting ourselves out there, whether it be for a job opportunity or whether it be to attract our potential husband, there is always this risk of rejection. There is always this emotional impact that comes with it, right? It's not an easy thing. At the end of the day, when you are dating, you are literally sifting through people and trying to make a logical decision on who is going to, complement you best, who is going to work with your lifestyle, who is going to offer you a healthy relationship for years and decades to come. So it's not an easy decision to make. So I really want to offer you guys some tips on how you can go about this process in the most logical way, in a way that is not going to use so much energy from you. And if you really follow these rules to a T, you're not going to feel burnt out. You're not going to feel like it's a huge chore. You will actually enjoy the process. So the first thing that I want you guys to remember is your why. This is like a huge thing in the business world. Like, know your why, know what you're doing it for, know why you're working hard for. But for some reason in the dating world, it gets lost. A lot of people just go out there on dates completely forgetting their why. When you connect with your why, with why you are doing this, you are going to be looking at it from such a different perspective than when you're just going out to have fun and to meet people. So when I was dating for marriage, my why was we will build an empire together. We will break generational curses. We will show everyone what true lasting love looks like. And so I was going into it super empowered, super ready, and with faith that this person did exist out there. I wasn't sure, I'll hang out on Friday, why not? My night is open. No, I was strictly only going out on dates with men who fit the script, who fit my list of values, who fit in with the lifestyle that I desired, who fit in with the qualities that I was seeking in a man. And so I wasn't wasting my time with lousies. I wasn't wasting my time with losers because I was going to get a free meal out of it or because my weekend was open, so why not? I was being super strategic, and this is why I tell so many of you ladies, being strategic starts when you create your dating profile. Even the minute you select which dating app to use, you're already talking strategy at this point. And a lot of women fail to realize that because women tend to be emotional creatures, and so we're not going into these situations with logic. And that is the issue. That's why you find a lot of women falling for guys because they're cute, because of XYZ, because of reasons that aren't actually going to benefit them, because they are thinking with lust, they are thinking with their hearts, they're not thinking with their brains. So know your why, remember your why, and date according to your why. So if your why is to meet the future father of your kids, you should not be going out with any men who do not want children. If your why is to find a man who is going to protect you, you should not be going out with men who are violent or aggressive or who show any toxic red flags. So it's not rocket science. Once you know your why and you know the qualities that you're looking for and what you hope to achieve, then it becomes so much easier because you know that you are taking active steps towards that goal. The next tip that I have is to keep it fun, keep it lighthearted. Remember that although you have all of these things on your list and you have this vision of the way you want things to work out, at the end of the day, you are a feminine essence. And femininity is all about having fun, is all about going with the flow, is all about bringing joy and inspiration to those that we surround ourselves with. So when you go into a date, don't go into it thinking it's an interview. Don't go into it with the same energy of, past baggage and already coming into it with like this bitter attitude. You want to approach each date with a fresh slate, with a clean slate, without any assumptions, without any expectations. And when I say without any expectations, I don't mean, just allow him to do whatever he wants. I mean, let him show you. Stop trying to provide the plan for him. You are the feminine aura, right? So it is in your nature to sit back, surrender, and receive. Let him prove himself to you. Let him show you, right? Rather than just tell you, yes, I'm the head of this. Yes, I do X, Y, and Z. Let him show you with his actions. And when you keep it fun and you stay in that lighthearted energy, he is going to naturally step into his masculinity and lead the way, show how he is this person for you, right? It's not up to you to try to get this out of him, right? It's either in him or it's not. I've talked about this before. Like, you can't turn a boy into a man. He needs to do that work on his own. And when you go on a date, don't go into it like, so what do you expect to be providing for me? Once again, going into it with this interview style energy, because he's automatically going to be turned off by that. He's going to be like, okay, this chick is not giving me the feminine energy that I need to step into my lead, right? Because if you come in with all these questions and with all these like controlling tendencies, then are you truly ready to be led by a masculine, or are you just rinsing and repeating something that you heard online? Okay, so keep it fun, keep it lighthearted, make sure that your energy is like super inviting and super loving. Don't have all these walls built up. Don't come into it with a bitter attitude or with an interview sense of mind, because that will instantly turn off any man. Okay, the third tip should honestly be the first, because you guys know how strongly I feel about this, but you know what? It landed on number 3, and 3 is one of my favorite numbers, so we're gonna go with it. Do not become intimate. I don't know how many times I have to say this, and I'm still getting bombarded with messages of women asking me, should I sleep with this man? Should I have sex with this man? My answer will always be no. Is he your fiance? Is he your husband? What is he doing for you? Let's start there, because so many women are just so quick to get in bed with any man because they found him cute, or he took her on a few dates, or he matches the things on her trait list, but he hasn't done anything for her or anything to prove all of these things that he says, okay? So I read this thing the other day, and it said, if you don't feel comfortable calling him in an emergency, then how do you feel comfortable getting in bed with him? And that just like hit the spot, because I know so many women out there who are selling themselves short, who are literally sleeping with any guy, and I know for a fact these men would not show up for them in an emergency, let alone just like be consistent with them or even communicate with them in a consistent manner, right? Like, if this guy isn't even talking to you any day, hasn't even become exclusive with you, like, it boggles my mind that you would be okay with giving him the most deepest private parts of you, okay? So do not become intimate when you're rotationally dating. You're automatically just booted from rotational dating if you become intimate, because now hormones are involved. You're not thinking clearly. You're not thinking logically. You're automatically creating all these energetic ties. And from that point forward, that man knows he has you hooked to his finger. It's really that simple. We women are super emotional, super energetic creatures, and as much as you think that, oh, I'm above that, like I can play the game or whatever, you are not playing the game. You're actually getting played, because now this guy does not respect you, and he's going to be doing the bare minimum because you've basically given him the milk for free. Why would he want the whole cow? We've heard that saying, and it is true. Even men themselves have said, women who think that will sleep with you and then work for you or take you on a date are literally delusional, because once you've already given that up, what are they working for? What are they trying to win you over for? Like, they're not, okay? So do not become intimate. And this is one of the top ways, this should be number one, like I said, to ensure that there are not detrimental emotional impacts, okay? If you do rotational dating right, it should be fun, it should be a process of self-discovery, it should be taking you on the path to find your person. But if you screw around and get intimate with someone, you're no longer rotational dating, because rotational dating entails not becoming intimate with anybody. And obviously, you should already know this, but if someone is pressuring you to get intimate, then you already know they're not the right one for you, okay? And one thing that I want you guys to know is the minute that you set this boundary, I'm not going to become intimate with you, you will lose out on a lot of attention, you will lose out on a lot of men, okay? But remember, we don't want just any man. We want high quality men. We want men who value women, who respect women's boundaries, okay? So already just having that boundary of you're not sleeping with anyone is going to filter out probably like half of the male population, if not more. Trust me, I've been there and I know. But that is actually what you want to happen. You want to be filtering out these men that you know don't care, that you know don't want to work for you, that you know don't want to step up to the plate as a man and show what they have to offer you, okay? So yes, you're going to lose out on attention, but you will be losing out on the wrong attention, the men we don't want in our rotation, okay? So yes, you're going to have less men to select from, but from those men that you are selecting from, they're going to be a lot more high quality, they're going to be a lot more mature, a lot more just embodied in the masculine, and so they're not going to be pressuring you for sex. They're not going to be trying to force you to become intimate, because they know that a true woman values herself enough to wait. The next way to reduce any emotional impacts from rotational dating is do not reveal any secretive or disturbing information about your childhood, about your parents, about ex-partners. This is not for anyone to just know, okay? There are a lot of women out there who like just vomit all of this information about their triggers, about what their toxic ex did, about what their father did, and I get it. Maybe you have a lot of pent up like issues or anger, but this isn't the time to be revealing top secret information about you. Like I said earlier, keep it fun, keep it lighthearted. The minute you get into these deep, dark topics, first off, the guy's brain is already going to, this girl's already been abused emotionally or physically or sexually by someone else. She probably has trauma from that. And they're automatically now identifying you as someone who's been a victim before. You never want to be seen as the victim, okay? If you end up, creating a relationship with someone and maybe down the line, like at least a year or a long time after knowing them, you can slowly reveal information as time goes on. But when you are rotationally dating, you should not be talking about secretive childhood trauma or secrets that stay in your household or things about ex-partners. Like, definitely do not discuss this, because this is just going to create ammo for the wrong individuals, okay? A lot of predators are like keeping their ears wide open for hearing who's been a victim before, because those are the women that they're going to target. Those are the women that they're going to automatically identify as being weak or vulnerable or not having support. So please do not offer that info, which can get you in a situation that you don't want to be in. The other thing that I advise you to do is to schedule dates in advance. Now, obviously, when I say schedule dates, it should be the men initiating the dates, but always give yourself room and time in advance, okay? You want time to get ready. Obviously, us women tend to need a lot of time to get ready, so it's nice to have like a few day notice, or at least like if you're hanging out in the evening, you should know by morning or afternoon. This is just going to make your life a lot easier, a lot less stressful. I know women tend to get overwhelmed if a guy reaches out last minute and is like, want to go to dinner tonight, and they only have like an hour heads up. So just don't be available for that, and communicate that when you're dating. You're not just going to be available on a whim. You're not just going to be available the day of. Like, men need to ask about your schedule and schedule things in advance. So ideally, like, they should be asking you during the week, are you available that weekend? Okay, the minute that you start saying yes to last minute offers, that becomes the norm. They're like, okay, this chick is down last minute, well then why would we give her a heads up? Okay, and then you're not only that, but you become option B or C, because there are other women out there who have higher standards than you, and those women are naturally going to be valued higher. Like, this is how things work. You've seen it in business. When you request service from someone and they're not available until next month because they're fully booked up, you naturally perceive that person as being more valuable, as being more wanted and attracted by other people, and you want that thing, right? Why do you think these designer stores have you waiting months and perhaps even years for a handbag, right? It's because that creates value. It's all psychology. So at the end of the day, you want to be thinking about these principles. As a woman, you want men to know you're busy, you have a schedule, you have things on your calendar, and if they can't respect that, then you're not going to be available for them. And you can also say it in a really kind way. If a man were to contact you last minute, you can say, oh, I would have loved to, that sounds so nice, but you know, I need advance notice in order to make sure that it doesn't conflict with other things in my schedule, okay? So you can say things in a nice way. Some women just get so triggered sometimes that instead of politely saying, thank you, I love that, I would have loved to go, but XYZ, they end up attacking men, and that is just going to make you less and less attractive. So please don't attack a man. Even if he contacts you last minute, just politely say, you know what, I would have loved to go, but I need advance notice, okay? And they'll either get the memo or they won't. Another tip that I have is to have some rules about how frequently you will see someone and how many dates you're going to have per week. So I know women, they don't want to be scheduling more than one date per weekend, or they don't want to be scheduling more than one date per guy per week. That's completely fine. I think you should have your own rules, whichever aligns with your personality, with your energy. I mean, you should know yourself best, so please make a rule around that. But also, leave some room for flexibility, because I know how men are, and if a man meets you and he's super interested, he might want to see you the next day. He might want to see you 2, 3, 4 times that week. And if you're just completely resistant to that, he can also take that as you not being interested in him. So keep that in mind. If a man is wanting to see you more and more frequently, that is definitely signaling that he's interested in you, that he wants to invest in you, and that can be a great sign. So it's okay to have rules around how frequently you'll see someone, but also give men grace and understand that if they want to see you more often, it's because they like you. So that is definitely a good sign. The last tip that I have for rotational dating is to ideally keep this person away from close friends and family, at least in the beginning. Now, you might disagree with this. Perhaps you have a family who is super involved in your life, or you have a family who wants to vet someone before you've taken the next step with them. I just want to say that a lot of women sometimes rush this process, and they want the man to meet their sister, their aunt, their mom, their besties. And while I get it, you know, sometimes we're so enamored by someone and we want our friends and family's opinion. You can also become really disillusioned and really clouded and confused with the more people you introduce to him. So I personally prefer to keep all my friends and family kind of out of it, because at the end of the day, I want to pick someone who works well for me. I don't want to hear what so-and-so thinks, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be dating so-and-so. They're going to be dating me. So I want to make sure that they work well with my life. And then once I've truly vetted them and made sure that they are going to be around my life for the long haul, that's when I would introduce them to friends and family. Once again, this isn't always something that you can control. Perhaps you live with your mom and dad and like they need to meet everyone you go out with. That's a completely different situation. But if you have the choice, I would opt for just vetting the person on your own, because then you know you're really making a sound decision based on your values, not what your mom values, not what your friend values, not what your sister values, because women tend to kind of just take other people's opinions and make it their own. But remember, this is the person for you, not for anyone else, okay? So I hope that you are going to make that judgment, because at the end of the day, you are going to be living with that person, not anyone else. So that is the video that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I will make sure to link my other videos about rotational dating down in the description. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. And if you'd like to work with me in a one-on-one setting, I also have information on that down below. So I will see you all very soon. Bye.